Time now for the morning rush. Search crews are out this morning, double checking that everyone is accounted for after a tornado ripped through Dexter, New Mexico. Schools are closed today and 5 people are recovering in a local hospital. Officials say at least 10 homes were damaged or destroyed, and at last check the town remains without power. The Red Cross remains on scene this morning. Other parts of the southeast are also waking up to damage as they endured other parts of the storm. Confirmed tornadoes, drenching rain, and damaging hail. These videos right here from Malaga showing a tornado and hail. Then near Hagerman, by Loving, you can see another tornado. And larger cities like Albuquerque and Roswell only seeing heavy rains and wind, but not much more. Kristen.
Extreme wind in the forecast today, and we continue with the moderate to heavy snow over the north and west. Most of the school delays you see rolling at the bottom of your screen due to snow. We're going to see those spotty rain showers here in the metro. Later this evening, a few spot showers left over to the north, and the snow will linger in the northern mountains tomorrow, but the strong winds will be here today, gone for your Thursday. David.
More employees of an Albuquerque nonprofit could soon join a lawsuit against the organization for claims that it's underpaying its workers. 2 current and 1 former employee of the Adelante Development Center, they are suing them. Adelante hires people with mental and physical disabilities. Now, companies need to have federal and state approval to pay those with disabilities less than minimum wage, something the lawsuit says Adelante did not do. Adelante says they have been open and honest about their work. Take a look at your screen right there and see if you know this man that Los Lunas police say is skimming credit cards. Police say from there he takes the cards and then withdraws money at ATMs in Albuquerque. Officers say the crimes happened between January and February of this year. If you recognize the suspect, you're asked to call the detective at the number on your screen. Dozens of people, including 2 celebrities, are in trouble this morning following accusations of being involved in a large-scale college cheating scam. Now, court documents say the scheme went on for nearly a decade. At least 33 wealthy parents allegedly paying $25 million to get their kids into elite schools. Actresses Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin, they are being accused of that as well. A former top advisor to Pope Francis is waking up behind bars this morning, and he will likely be there for a while. Australian Cardinal George Pell sentenced to 6 years yesterday morning for sexually abusing 2 choir boys back in the 1990s. Pell is the highest-ranking member of the Catholic Church to be found guilty of abuse. Well, the teen accused of firing a gun inside a local school set to be back in court next month for a competency hearing. Joshua Owen is accused of opening fire in Cleveland High School in Rio Rancho, but he may never have to stand trial as his competency is now in question. Owen's attorney says the 16-year-old does not understand the charges. If found competent, the state wants Owen to be sentenced as an adult. New this morning, the New York Attorney General is asking banks to turn over info on President Trump's business dealings. The subpoenas are related to the loan applications, mortgages, lines of credit, and other financial transactions of 4 Trump Organization projects and a failed attempt to buy the Buffalo Bills back in 2014. An energy transition bill is one step closer to reality, now just waiting the governor's signature this morning. The Energy Transition Act passed in the House would turn the San Juan coal plant into a renewable energy site. The bill would give millions of dollars to PNM to move forward with renewable energy sources like solar and wind. The governor will likely sign it. Kristen.
I think I've only had the Metro Threat Index up to a 10 once before this, but I think today's winds definitely warranting it. Sustained winds over 35 miles per hour. Wind gusts between about, I would say, at least 50 miles per hour, closer to 60, 65. Scattered rain showers on top of that and some cooler temperatures with highs, that is, only in the low 50s. That's about 10 degrees colder than normal for us for this time of year. David.
Growth in Albuquerque public schools continues despite officials saying they are cutting back on energy costs. Now, thanks to a team of people at the district's energy center, APS got the district's energy consumption down nearly 20%. Monitors and sensors placed in each building help them turn off the lights not being used. 6 people monitor how much they consume and how much they're going to save. New this morning, UNM's nursing school is ranked one of the top programs in the country. It's all according to a new study. Now, according to the journal, U.S. News and World Report released its 2020 edition of America's Best Graduate School Programs. UNM Master of Science and Nursing program ranks in the top 15% of the country, and its Doctor of Nursing Practice program in the top 30%. Well, the city and some graduate students at UNM are still narrowing down ideas to add more accessible public restrooms. The city says homeless people using the bathroom outside is a growing problem. Now a class is being offered to spring grad students to foster creative ways to fix that. Now, the professors teaching the course have narrowed ideas down to 7 options, which the city will eventually consider. In just days, Ski Santa Fe will have some of New Mexico's favorite beers on the slopes. Brewski 2019 kicks off March 23rd. 9 local breweries will be in attendance. There's also going to be live music. Tickets are now available for $18. They also include a commemorative glass, a beer of your choice, and 3 tasters. Speaking of skiing, ski season is now extended at some of New Mexico's ski resorts. Sipapu Ski Resort and Summer Resort is extending their daily hours, and they plan to stay open through April 7th. Meanwhile, Pajarito is also planning to remain open through that time. Resort officials say that both ski areas are enjoying double-digit growth over the last year. Kristen.
Time now for a check on your morning commute. At this point, we don't have any major crashes out there, just a typical construction that we have going on now. Big Eye looks pretty good for Wednesday morning. We'll keep an eye on this for you throughout the day.
This morning, we are hearing from rapper T-Pain on why he chose Meow Wolf as the location for his newest music video.
My wife sent me an advertisement for Meow Wolf, and it blew my mind.
There you go, right there in an interview with Meow Wolf. T-Pain talks about shooting the video for his new single a million times. He says that he fell in love with how unique the art space is and says that he would love to decorate his home to look like it.
We're taking you back 97 years ago on this day, March 13th. We had 2 inches of rain that fell in Melrose. That's the highest that site has seen when it comes to a one-day rainfall total. That was on this day 97 years ago. We take you now to the 5 facts at number 5. If you're a fan of hitting the slopes, here's some good news for you. Ski season is being extended after a wet winter. Sipapu Ski and Summer Resort extending their daily hours and plan to stay open through April 7th. Pajarito Mountain also plans to remain open at that time. Till that time, that is. The resort officials say both ski areas enjoying double-digit growth over last year.
At number 4, the city of Albuquerque says they are now putting preventative measures in place, all to make sure that residents' personal information stays safe from hackers. The move comes after an audit reveals more than 27,000 citizens' information was at risk of being leaked and that city employees did not know that those files needed to be protected. The city now says they have cut off any potential access to the millions of personal identifiable information files. So far, the city says they have not had a data breach. At number 3, the Senate bill addressing the state film tax credit is back in committee this morning after some changes and passing in a 32-8 vote in the Senate yesterday. Now, the version of Senate Bill 2 heading to the Commerce and Economic Development Committee lets the state pay a one-time fee of up to $225 million to get rid of the majority of the backlog owed to Hollywood. Additionally, the bill would add a $100 million hard limit on the tab and raise the state's cap credits from $50 million to $110 million. At number 2, at last check, the town of Dexter is still without power this morning. This after a tornado rips right through town. Officials say 10 homes were damaged or destroyed. Meanwhile, search crews are going to be heading out again this morning, making sure that everyone's accounted for. The school remains closed there in town, as does Highway 2.
At number 1, the severe weather threat pushes off to the east today. Left behind is some extreme wind, heavy snow in the north and west, cooler temperatures statewide. A little more snow for tomorrow, but quieter conditions by Friday.